The Petroleum Industry Administrative Bill has scaled the second reading on the floor of the Senate. The bill, which was sponsored by Senator Basi Akpan, Akwa Ibom, is one of the trenches of the Petroleum Industry Bill. Leading the debate on the bill, Senator Akpan said the bill sought to provide a new framework for the administration of the upstream, midstream, and downstream sector of the Nigerian petroleum industry. He further said the bill sought to provide effective administration of the entire industry and to open up the industry for investment and growth.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the Nigerian Petroleum Industry Administration Bill 2017 seeks to provide for a new legal framework for the administration of the upstream, downstream, midstream sectors of the Nigerian petroleum industry. It seeks to provide effective administration of the entire industry and to open up the industry for investment and growth. Therefore, this law has the capacity to create the much desired expansion of the industry by unleashing an inflow of new entrants into the petroleum operations, which will be accompanied by substantial new investments and overall transformation of the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
Contributing, the lawmakers expressed their support for the passage of the bill. They maintain that the review has become necessary to place the sector on the same pedestal with the petroleum industry of other nations. Senate President Bukola Saraki referred the bill to the Joint Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas after a voice vote.
The bill is referred to the Joint Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas report back in 4 weeks. I thank you, the members of the distinguished senators, on your comments here. This bill now at the committee level, please kindly ensure that we involve all stakeholders so that their contributions can let us have a bill that is acceptable and implementable. And the whole purpose of us doing this now, so that over the recess period, work can be done. The principle, as we agreed, must be a win-win, where government will win and also the stakeholders and investors will win. And as you rightly said, it must be we cannot, as Nigeria, be in isolation. We must think about it. It is a very competitive environment, and it's a bill that will bring investors into the country. Thank you.
He directed the bill to be returned in 4 weeks. From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
A coalition of civil society groups in Borno State have called for immediate impeachment of the state governor, Kashim Shettima, over an alleged 36 billion naira salary scandal. Grima Terab, who spoke on behalf of the group during a press conference in Abuja, called on the State Assembly to commence impeachment proceedings on the governor, adding that they can no longer trust him with the state commonwealth.
The full and immediate recovery of our stolen 36 billion naira has bring back our 36 billion. 2, to immediately resign as the Chief Executive Officer of the state for the gross display of incompetence and not capable of managing the state resources prudently. 3, call on the State Assembly to immediately commence the impeachment proceedings on the governor, for we can no longer trust him with our commonwealth. 4, call on the EFCC, ICPC, CCB, DSS, and all other relevant anti-corruption and security agencies to commence investigation and prosecution of all those involved in this monumental fraud.
Borno State have been under serious attack by the Boko Haram group, which had led many of its citizens to seek refuge outside the state. The group described the incident as the biggest fraud meted on its people since independence.
This is by far the biggest fraud ever meted on the good people of Borno State by any government since independence. This money alone, if properly utilized, will have taken good care of our IDPs, rebuilt towns and villages destroyed by insurgents, solve our perennial flooding problem, start the long-awaited state university, upgrade our medical institutions, pay our students scholarship, settle the backlog of state civil servants' benefit that have not been paid for the past 6 years, and many more. We have the largest number of out-of-school children, second to Syria. Our children are dying of disease and malnutrition at the IDP camps. Funny enough, the governor is busy begging for support elsewhere, while lump sum of money is being siphoned under his watch, and he deliberately refused to act.
Attempt to get Borno state government officials to react on the accusation failed. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanet.
Nanet?
Nanet offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanet, service with a smile.
The Senate in Nigeria has resolved to investigate the recent harassment of Bakassi indigene in Cameroon, which led to the death of some Nigerians and their mass returned. The upper chamber also called on the Cameroonian government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to respect provision of the Green Tree Agreement. The Green Tree Charter provides that Cameroon will not force Nigerians national living in the Bakassi to leave the zone or change their nationality, respect their culture, language, belief, and take every necessary measure to protect Nigerians national living in the zone from any harassment or harms, among others. Senator Rose Oko from Cross River North had in the main motion said Nigerians in Bakassi have suffered attack leading to death on several occasions in the past. She expressed worry that growing discriminatory treatment of Nigerians in diaspora often lead to death, as has been the case in South Africa and Cameroon since the ceding of Bakassi Peninsula. The minority leader of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who seconded the motion moved by Senator Rose Oko, said the issue of Bakassi has become a turning point, stating that Bakassi Peninsula has become a den for criminals, advising the federal government to call on all authority to honor all the agreement.
Not only speak here in chambers, we must call on the federal government to do everything possible to call on the Cameroonian authorities to respect the agreements that were entered into. And if there is need, we must find a way to even attempt to review the ICJ decision by going back to the same court to let them know that everything that was agreed upon, including this Green Tree Agreement, nothing has been adhered to. So I want to support this motion and at the same time second it and say that yes, indeed, it is a step in the right direction. Let the Hallowed Chamber be the first to shout out. Thousands are dying. The primary purpose of government, sir, as enshrined in Section 14, subsection 2B of our Constitution, is the protection of lives and the welfare of citizens. And when we are saved woefully like this, and people are not only suffering, but they are dying on a daily basis, and then they use Nigerians to train. The Indians are using Nigerians in the Bakassi Peninsula to train, and to train with new bullets. People are dying on a daily basis, and they cannot even fish.
The President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, referred the matter to the Senate Committee on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs to report back within 2 weeks.
Those against say nay. As I prayerful investigate the recent harassment of Bakassi indigenes in the Cameroon that led to the death of some of them and their mass return. Those in favor of prayer for say aye. Those against say nay. As I call on NEMA to immediately send relief to the returnees to reach them directly. Those in favor of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 6, refer the matter to the Committee on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs to report back in 2 weeks. Those in favor of prayer 6 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
In additional prayer, Senate asked the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to forward the treaty military agreement for the ratification by the Parliament. However, the Senate condemned in a strong term the action of the Cameroonian gendarme against Nigerians in the Bakassi Peninsula. From National Assembly, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) has described the court order restraining the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from continuing recall process of Senator Dino Melaye representing Kogi West Senatorial District as a blow to Nigerian democracy. Factional chairman of NANS, Aruna Kadiri, made this known at a press conference in Abuja. Aruna said the group aligned with the view of INEC that process of recall of any legislator should not be stopped by the court, but should be given as granted hearing.
It must be stated without equivocation that it is the constitutional right of the people to recall their representatives where such representative is not performing. It is also within the legitimate mandate of the INEC to follow through the process upon receipt of the petition signed by the required number of people. Electoral processes like elections and party primaries are statutorily beyond the jurisdiction of court to halt because any wrong done to any person can be remedied by the court even after the processes has ended. In the same vein, we align with the view of INEC that the process of recall of any legislator should not be stopped by court, but such cases should be given accelerated hearing even after the process.
INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu had been accused of stopping the recall process over reports that the Nigerian Senate will soon commence probe of the activities of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TED Fund) from 2005 to date, which the current chairman of INEC had headed as the executive secretary. The student noted that this is a failed blackmail.
We seriously frown at the attempt of some persons to twist an attempt to purport that the INEC halted the process because of the mooted probe of TED Fund. This is a failed blackmail, and we reject it completely, and we resist any attempt to derail INEC in the legitimate discharge of its constitutional mandate.
In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.